95.1 FM, 790 AM. This is KFYO Mornings. Dave King, Matt Martin, here on your radio. It is a Thursday, and it is 7:35, and that could only mean that the Car Pro is on line one. Good morning, Jerry Reynolds.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all?
I'm doing well. How was your 4th of July?
It was fantastic. I missed talking to you guys last week, but it was nice to have a day off.
Was it hot on the 4th of July in Dallas?
Yes, it was. And
it goes without saying,
it's been hot all week long. I will tell you that. And to make matters worse, I'm driving a completely black vehicle, black inside, black outside.
Oh, I know. It's beautiful. I'm looking at it.
Well,
I think it's pretty ugly. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a very good looking vehicle.
I'd love it.
I have been through this all week long with people who see it and go, wow, that's awesome, and other people that go, that's horrible. And there seems to not be any in between, and we're talking about the 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Believe it or not, guys, the first time we heard about Jeep putting a pickup bed on the back of a Wrangler was in 2005. It's taken 15 years to finally get this thing into production. And it's been much anticipated. I mean, they've been selling like crazy. There's just a certain amount of people out there who always want to be the first on their block to have one, and they're willing to pay over window sticker price for it. The one that I've got is the Overland. This is the next to the top of the line. This one's got the soft top and the hard top, although I only got it with the soft top. And it drives good if you like Jeeps, and I typically do, especially the four doors. It handles well. It's very capable off-road. A lot of ground clearance if you want to really take it out on off-road. Little surprised with the price, I'll be honest. This one is not the top of the line. It's $57,000 on the window sticker, which, for what you get, that's pretty pricey, I got to tell you. But on the other hand, typical Jeep, you can do anything with it that you want to do. You can take the doors off. You can take the top off. You can fold the windshield down. I mean, you can really configure this thing any way you want to. And so from that standpoint, it's very versatile. Decent gas mileage, good power. Jeep's known for their four-wheel drive systems, and this one certainly doesn't disappoint. It's got a really roomy back seat. I was very surprised by the leg room and headroom. But, if it's your thing, it's fine. I like it. It's not something I'd want to drive on a daily basis for the rest of my life, but the quality does seem to be there, and it is quite capable.
Hey,
is it automatic transmission?
Yes, automatic, but you can get it in a manual.
So, Jerry, I've never really driven a Jeep Wrangler before. It's just never been my thing, but I've heard you tell a lot of people when they call your show and say, I'm looking at a Jeep Wrangler, the first thing you ask is, have you ever driven one before?
That's right.
What's so different about a Jeep Wrangler versus other vehicles on the market?
They ride rough, especially in four-wheel drive. And I think the thing that I warn people about, and I almost always say, hey, go rent one for a weekend before you spend $50,000 for one, and make sure that you're going to like it. Especially with the soft top, you get a lot of noise inside. They're very loud. It's hard to listen to the radio. Better with the soft top on, with the hard top on. But with the soft top on, which people tend to really like, it's loud inside. You're going to get some wind noise. You're going to get some water leaks in a brand new vehicle, and the ride and drive. And a lot of people have trouble getting in and out of them. They're at an odd height for most people. If you're tall, it's going to be hard to get into it. If you're short, you're going to have to climb into it and fall out of it, because they do set up pretty high so you can get off-road. It's just a different – if you're looking for that really cushy SUV ride that you typically get, Jeep's not for you.
Well, no, and the Jeep is not a vehicle that you'd want to buy and put on the highway and drive 1,000 miles.
I wouldn't. Some people do.
Yeah, I know.
But again, when the faster you go, the louder it is in there. I mean, it's almost unbearable.
Yeah. Well, and two, I don't think they drive that well on the road. They're made for off road, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are. They're not. I mean, they drive better on the highway now than they ever have, but still, it's a Jeep. Get a Grand Cherokee if you want something that's pleasurable. At 75 miles an hour. This is not it.
Yeah.
Now, they haven't changed a whole lot over the years either, have they?
Not a lot. They did some updates for 2019 with the Wrangler itself before the Gladiator came out. I was expecting them to do more than what they did, to be honest with you. Just primarily, platform changes and powertrains and things. This one's got a 6-cylinder under the hood. The regular Wrangler you can get with a 4-cylinder, but this one I think would be too heavy for that because of its truck chassis, and it's longer than a regular Wrangler. It's like 13 inches longer. I mean, this is a pretty good sized truck. There's just nothing out there that it competes with. I had a listener ask me this week, how does it compare to the Honda Ridgeline? Man, you couldn't have two more opposite trucks. It would be more like a Ford Ranger, the new Ford Ranger, or perhaps the Chevy Colorado as far as size. It's good size, though. I mean, it's the inside is extremely roomy.
Yeah. Well, roomies, and I guess you could take all your friends out when you go mudding.
Yes, you certainly could. Yeah. And when you get stuck, there's tow hooks on the front, so
just in case.
Just in case. You never know.
So what else do you have going on your website, carprousa.com?
I'll tell you what, we're putting a lot of stories up today. I've got a review. We didn't talk about it last week because of the holiday. I had the Range Rover Evoque, which is also a 2020 model. So I'll have that review up today. We've got the 2019 Nissan Altima review coming up, and then the 2019 Mazda 3. And the story I really want to call attention to is I wrote an article about buying tips for expectant parents on how to search for a car and what they're looking for. Because I hear from people all the time who've got a baby on the way. They may or may not already have one or two, and they don't know what to buy. And so I spend a lot of time researching and come up with some tips for expectant parents.
Hey,
so that'll be up later today.
I'll tell you, the first two were not bad, but it's when you get into the 3-kid range that you have to have that third row seat, and it has to be accessible when you have kids that are too small for you to seatbelt themselves.
Yes, that's exactly right, and that's one of the things that I put in there was talking about looking at SUVs that have captain's chairs in the center row, so you can go get to the third row a lot easier. Mm-hmm. And I also talked about, if you're going car shopping and you've already got your child seat, take it with you.
No, we did.
So you can see how it fits.
We had all. So I've got 4 kids that are still in some type of car seat. We took all 4 of them and put them in before we bought a vehicle to make sure that they all fit like we wanted.
Well, yeah. I mean, you don't want to make a mistake. I mean, if you buy the wrong vehicle, it's extremely costly.
And I'll tell you right now, the guy selling you the vehicle is not going to tell you no when you want to put them in there.
No, that's right. And that's what I always tell people about trailer towing. You're at a dealership and you ask a salesperson, hey, will this truck pull my 8,000-pound trailer? I can tell you right now the answer is yes. They're going to tell you yeah.
But if you take
it may not pull it but 20 miles an hour, but it'll pull it.
Well, and I'll tell you though, if you took that trailer up there and said let's test it, they're not going to tell you no, you can't do that.
No, that's right. That's exactly right. They'll be with you. We got the first half of the year sales numbers, and I'll break those down for you. We'll have that up on the website later today.
Well, how are they in general?
Down for June, 2.5%. For the year through 6 months, down just under 2%. I think the big thing is the industry's tracking right now to do 17 million new vehicle sales this year, and that's a number that 10 years ago was a pipe dream. Nobody thought it could ever be done, and if it happens, this will be the 6th straight year of 17 million. So it's good.
Yeah.
All right, well, Jerry, we're running out of time. But your website's carprousa.com, and you're on from 11 to 1 every Saturday. And you can you can always call in. Our audience can call in and ask you questions about vehicles they're looking at.
Oh, they do, too. I love my Lubbock callers.
Yeah. Thank you, Jerry.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good weekend.
You too, Jerry.
Talk to you next week. It is 7:45 a.m. Dave and Matt in the morning on KFYO will return with more after this.